Hey, what's up guys? This is the Super Saiyan Prodigy 1221 here. You can go and call me Andres or by my nickname Andy as well. And today I'll be bringing you guys episode 2 of Rulings You Should Know as a Fam Nights player. Also apologies ahead of time if the quality may be a little bit off or the audio might be a little bit weird. I'm trying to help my friend get recording software so he can start using it in some of his remote duel videos. But let's go ahead and get started. So one of the things I've noticed people talking about online is whether or not your XC's materials go to the graveyard when your opponent has Shinshin up on the field. And the answer is they still go to the graveyard. So the reason because of that is because XC's materials don't count as being on the field, so they won't be banished by Shinshin's effect, since it says any card sent from the field to the graveyard is banished instead, but since XC's materials don't count as being on the field, they won't be banished. But however, if you're facing down something like a Macrocosmos or a Dark Law, their effect specifically states any card that's sent from the graveyard is banished instead, and since XC's material count as being any card, they end up getting banished. This is why we're able to avoid the drawback of Torn Scales being banished when it leaves the field, or one of our monsters that's special summoned by a Fam Knight's Trap a card. Because once it becomes XC's material, it's no longer counted as being on the field, so that drawback no longer applies. So that's pretty good ruling that helps us in our favor when we're playing Phantom Knights. Also, when you try to go Break Sword, pop the Shinshin, since the destruction applies simultaneously, Break Sword will still go to the graveyard since the Shinshin got removed from the field. Okay, and then also one other thing is, let's pretend these are level 4. This Evil Swarm Nightmare. So the issue with Evil Swarm Nightmare when it comes to ruling issues is that it can miss timing because it's a when effect. If it was an if effect, it would never miss timing because those effects like the BA monsters, they don't miss timing. But with Evil Swarm Nightmare, it works the best on inherit special summons. So the special summon itself has to be the last thing that happens in a chain link. So let's say my opponent's playing Virtual World and they try to go for a Zoke and set up their Crystal Wing play. You can go ahead and book a Moon that since it's an inherent special summon. However, the issue comes to when a special summon isn't the last thing that happened as part of an effect. So let's say for example, let's say Lulu, for example. So Lulu target the Shushe, right? So if you read carefully on Lulu's text, the last thing to happen as part of its effect, it isn't the special summon. It's the effect where it can add one virtual card of a third type from their deck to their hand. So since the special summon itself wasn't the last thing to happen as part of the chain link on Lulu, you can't use the Evil Swarm Nightmare on it. Another example I could give to you guys is Dangerous Shusanoko. So let's say that you end up discarding a card from their hand and then you end up drawing a card. Since the last thing that happened was the draw one card, the Evil Swarm Nightmare misses timing again. So it's good to know that because you might want to hold it off for something bigger, or you can tell that your opponent's doing an awkward play based on the way that they're trying to avoid the getting their monster Book of Moon by Evil Swarm Nightmare. So just as a heads up, that Evil Swarm Nightmare might not be that good in every matchup depending on how much your opponent is able to inherently special summon, as well as what actual monsters you can hit, because this can miss timing. I'm going to pause this real quick. Alright, now another ruling I wanted you guys to know about is how some Sky Striker players who probably might not know about the Phantom Knights matchup is that when they try to Widow Anchor your Rusty Bardiche, like that's fine, but then some people want to try and go and use it as link material to go into an access code soccer. This won't work because even though Rusty's monster effects are negated, it's a monster condition that it can't be used as link material. And monster conditions aren't a card effect, so it can't be negated. So remember that even if your opponent doesn't Widow Anchor, could be what they think they can be using as link fodder after taking it with like even with like a Triple Tactics talent or a Monster Reborn even. Not necessarily just a Widow Anchor specifically in the Sky Striker matchup. So those are other meta relevant cards I would say that could come up in which opponents might want to use your Rusty Bardiche as quick link fodder to go into like an access code soccer to LTK you. But remember, monster condition. And then the last ruling I have for you guys today is Dragoon and attempting to destroy and burning the attack points of a monster with question marks as attack stats. So monsters like Appaloosa's original attack is set up by its own continuous field effect. Its effect stops applying once it's destroyed. So there's nothing that is being applied to its original attack when Dragoon is trying to burn it for its attack damage. So even though it does become, let's say it's at like 2400, if it gets destroyed, Dragoon tries to check what attack damage it is at that point, but it's no longer on the field, so its attack stat no longer applies. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. If it did, please leave a like, subscribe, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.